This is a story of the only resurrection on my Hardcore Civilization Minecraft server. Back in October 2025, I had a weird dream where I had created a hardcore Minecraft server. It wasn't like any other Minecraft server though. It was like one of those servers in the Civilization videos you see on YouTube sometimes. Except one thing was different. It felt very organic, and also very real. I could see the communities interacting with each other and developing their own culture, their own memes and lore and traditions, and all of that in Minecraft. It reminded me of what happened to 2B2T, but in a purposefully crafted environment designed just for that to happen. It was fantastical. And then when I woke up, I knew exactly how to make it. So I got to work. At first I had nothing but myself and my ideas, and it made sense. I had a team of Minecraft friends I had been making events with occasionally for a few years. But waiting for everyone to be motivated and available had always been what held most of my projects back before. Not this time. This time, there would be no waiting. There would be no help needed. I was going to make this project a reality, and I was going to do so even if it meant doing it all alone. If I didn't know how to do something, I would research it. And then I would do it. It didn't matter to me how it was done. What mattered was that it happened, and that it happened fast. I wanted to feel it be something concrete, to feel this project's heart beating in my hands. So I got to work. I sat down and thought of what made my previous hardcore experiences disappointing. Well, for starters, I would always get killed by someone or something after 2 weeks. After a while, when that happens consistently, you learn to just give up and play regular servers. That's a shame. Maybe prolonging players' lives would be good. Not to make them immortal, of course, but only to ensure that they actually live something before they die. And the solution occurred to me like some sort of evidence. More hearts. If players had more hearts, then they could live a little bit longer before they would die. But then, dying would become much more difficult as well. And that defeats the purpose of a hardcore world. And then another idea struck me. What if every death made you lose some hearts? Now we had a great idea. Every death would make dying more likely, which kept the game risky and engaging, despite its duration being extended. I added a bunch of other mechanics aimed at favorizing group survival and social bonding, such as secretly altered game mechanics, innate clan and families, an invitation system where 2 players need to birth a new player for them to join the server, and a skill system, which ensures that players are relatively codependent on each other for survival.
The following program is available with described video.
Oh, and let's not forget the best part. I made tools and armor's durability scale according to the player's crafting level. This means that a newly born player could only, at best, break 3 or 4 logs of wood with an axe they crafted themselves before it broke down. Add a few more skills and systems, make dead players turn into ghosts who are able to possess players, and there we go. We had it. The server of my dream. All it needed was a name. Minecraft Bloodlines. MCB. I like that sound. I open it to the public and a few players join. Stuff starts to happen, lore begins to be built, everything follows a plan. The rest of the story is for another time. But for this video, let's talk about an event that occurred only once in the history of the server so far. The resurrection of a player. And this player was called NT777. See, as the months went by, several players died and turned into ghosts. This had always been a normal occurrence, at this point at least. Though, the player NT777's death was a particularly sad one. According to Dr. Flamethrower's page on the Minecraft Bloodlines wiki, NT fell victim to a series of unfortunate events which left him to live with a low amount of one single heart. NT was a greatly appreciated member of MCB. He had no enemies and always spent his time researching the hidden mechanics of the server and documenting them in the Minecraft Bloodlines Information Exchange Discord server. Above all, he liked bees. And I mean, he really liked bees. So, all naturally, when his hearts fell down to 1, he shut himself in his house on the farm stranded from anyone else, and spent days on end taking care of his bees and his crops, taking every precaution to avoid losing a last thread with the living world. This situation was, to say the least, saddening to most on MCB, and it came to no one's surprise to learn some morning that NT had been stung by one of his bees which caused his definitive death. At least, he had died doing what he loved. The days went by, and we would still hear about NT's death occasionally on the Discord or in the game chat. One day, as I was attending the bug request of a player named Purplendicular, he began talking about NT, who was a great friend of his during his lifetime. Purple went on and on about how unfair NT's life and death was, and about how in the end he was a player just like him, except that he had been confined within the walls of his house until the end. Purple pleaded for a way to bring NT back from the dead, going so far as to propose the exchange of his own life for NT's return. I told him no. After all, the whole point of a hardcore server was for death to be permanent. And above all, these sorts of intense emotions were exactly what I aimed at when creating MCB. When someone loved by the community died, this is what I wanted to happen. Everything was going according to the plan. However, I thought, Purple might as well have been talking to a god right this moment. I thought for myself that I do have the power of bringing him back if I wanted to, and that Purple knew this perfectly well. Perhaps there was some kind of deal to be made here. And I started thinking, what would a god ask for in exchange for a friend's resurrection normally? We would expect a sacrifice of some sort, but if I had to be honest, all I wanted for the server was for it to have more players, not less. And then it clicked. Purple, you ought to bring me 10 souls of your descendants into the world. I want them active and fresh. Once I will see 10 souls bearing your family name, then I will grant your wish to resurrect NT. However, you will need to select one of your descendants as a tribute and decide how many hearts will be permanently harvested from them in order to fuel NT's resurrection. He accepted the deal, and he, too, got to work. Within a few weeks, Purple had made deals with most of the server, especially with player Dr. Flamethrower, who was regarded as the code keeper of the server due to the insanely high number of descendants he had. Purple, however, omitted the part where one of his descendants had to lose their hearts as part of the resurrection. And soon enough, it happened. 10 of his descendants active and fresh. I congratulated him on fulfilling his part of the deal and arranged a time for the resurrection ritual to take place. I asked him who he had designed as a tribute and how many hearts I shall harvest from them. He told me the name, Raf Node, and that I had to harvest all of them. A pure sacrifice, despite everything. What you have been seeing for a while now is NT's point of view actually, waiting for the ritual to take place as a ghost in his crops, surrounded by his beloved bees. He had been dead for around a month at this point, and was about to be brought back from the dead at any moment now. And this moment is right now. And this is it. This is how the only resurrection on Minecraft Bloodlines happened. Following this event, I had a ton of people spamming my DMs on Discord, pleading for wishes to come true. Some arguing that it wasn't fair to grant wishes to some and not to others. And honestly, they might be right. I did bend the rules a little, but it was for the greater good of the server. In my opinion, we needed new players more than we needed to follow the rules strictly. I still learned my lesson though, and I think I might understand why gods in real life, if they exist, do not fulfill our prayers anymore.
Because we got something harassed by people after we fulfilled a single fucking run. By the power invested with me by the Fenwitches of the server, I pronounce Split SM and That Silly Rat husband and husband. You may now sign this marriage contract.